What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout Review, and today I'm doing the What if Deku fell in love with Ravage, or I think her name is Ravager. I always have to keep searching this stuff up because I'm usually an idiot. But this is part two to it. So where we last left off, Izuku found out he's getting married, and All for One is, how do I say it? Yeah, he had to apologize, but there's nothing he can do now because Izuku was telling his dad that, well, he could go out with Ravage and spend some time with her and test the waters out. You know what I mean? He could try that out, or he could go and, well, he could go and run away. Which he actually does. Izuku thought long and hard about this, and because of his life, and the fact that he wants to first, fall in love before getting married, and this is arranged marriage, he decides to run away. Now, Izuku, how do I say this? He goes and lives in different warehouses, goes to different apartments, and these are good places to be at. Not for Izuku's hiding spot, but the fact that there's residents there. Izuku usually has to take care of them before deciding to live there. Now, this girl always tries to find him, and she always succeeds. She tracks him down and tells him that we are supposed to get married. The first time they actually met, Izuku didn't see her face because it was covered in a mask. But Ravage saw him and thought to himself that it's the same boy from earlier. It was the same boy from last time. And was it fate? Was it coincidence? She says that, you know what? I'm going to have to keep trying to capture him because I'm going to force him to marry me whether he likes it or not. Now, Izuku is like a rabbit in her eyes, and she is like this mighty lion who will stop at nothing to hunt for her prey. And Izuku has to usually deal with this because he has a quirk that can let him teleport to different places or switch out with different things. He usually gives her the slip, but there's this one time that Izuku thinks that he has it all well figured out. She basically blindfolds him, and Izuku can't see a thing. And she says, I'm sorry, but we are supposed to get married. And Izuku just tries to wiggle out, saying, no, I don't want to get married. I want to live my life. I want to be marriage free for the time being. I am still 14. Did I say 14? He is a no, wait. He's a high schooler, actually. Oh yeah, he is a high schooler. All right. So he says, I'm still in high school. Have a heart. And she says, I'm sorry, but for the sake of the world, for the sake of the not assassins, for the sake of prosperity and also status, I must marry you. And she says, what about love? And she says, no. As much as I don't like this, it's also about status. So yeah, you're not gonna wiggle out of this one. Izuku's just defeated. He feels defeated, and she says, "Look, if it makes you feel any better, just know I know who you are. And Izuku says, you do? And she says, yes, I do know who you are. And you did something kind one day, and I actually appreciated that. Not a lot of people do stuff like that and risk their own safety for helping out others. Although you're dumb for brushing up the thorns, but that's for another time. And Izuku just says, thorns? Wait a minute, are you that? And she says, yes, I am that child? And she says, wait, what? I mean, I'm grateful that you know, I'm grateful that you got the balloon. I gave you the balloon. But was this like a test or something? And she says, no, you idiots. I'm Rose. My name is Rose. And he says, Rose what? And she says, I'm going to kill you. How do you forget I am Rose Wilson. I am the daughter of Deathstroke. And he says, oh. She says, oh. Oh boy. Look. Me and you are supposed to be together now. So I can tell you only this. You can be with me, or I will kill you, and basically that be the end of it. And Izuku says, is there like a third option for this? And she says, God damn it, Izuku. And Izuku says, alright. I guess there's no stopping you, no stopping me. And this is when she says, good. Now, can you unblindfold me? I can walk by myself. And she's basically carrying him on her shoulder, and she says, no. And he says, why not? And she says, you're pretty light, so I don't have to. You're a lightweight, so I don't have to just, put you down. And not only that, the fact is, you could possibly be, having a plan to run away. And Izuku just stays quiet, and she says, yeah, thought so. And this is when she puts him in a van, and she just starts driving. And she says, Izuku says, do you even have your license? And Rose says, no, I don't have my license, but I know how to drive. This is when Izuku says, now I'm more scared. You're probably gonna kill us. She says, till death do us part, Izuku. And she says, ah, boy. I fell for that one, didn't I? Yep, hook, line, and sinker. Now, while there, Deathstroke actually congratulates her daughter by saying, good job. You've managed to apprehend him, giving us the slip every time. I don't know how you did it, but I'm proud of you. Now, we shall settle for the arrangements of your to-be marriage. And this is when Izuku just says, Dad, do I have to get married? This is when All For One says, yes. It is for the good of relationships for the other villains. And also for the days, it's also for them being subservient to me. And Deathstroke says, you can say that all you want, but you can't control me. All For One says, I don't want to control you. There's a difference. This is when, basically, after cleaning his gun, he cocks it and says, huh, that's funny. All For One and Deathstroke basically have this bloodlust, but though these two basically kind of match their own in their own way, match each other in their own ways. So yeah, Izuku and Rose they were like, well, that's villains for you. And these two get to hear like the whole preparations for the wedding, because they did Izuku's dad. Wait a minute, All for One and Destro did say that it may be it may not be a wedding to them, but they had to do everything the proper way, at least for this. It's still supposed to be a wedding after all. So Izuku gets a tuxedo, and there's also other like there's all the Nomus and the Doctor himself. Let's see, and Shiggy. Now, I don't know if I told you all about Shiggy, but Shiggy's actually well, Shiggy's actually a better person, because one, he is loyal to All for One, but he is also loyal to the Sun, and these two are actually good friends. And Shigaraki doesn't have that whole mentality of, I'm just gonna kill everything and I'm just gonna be a man-child about it. No, Izuku gave him more of a bond, and Shigaraki does not want to ever lose him, because that's the first friend ever. So that's his best man, followed by Kurogiri and the Doctor, and then Nomus. And the bridesmaids. This is a funny one, but there's actually a couple of bridesmaids. Oh, sheesh. I decided to lessen the age of... How do I say it? I decided to lessen the age of a lot of, like, female villains. So, bear with me, people. There's Harley Quinn. Then there's Poison Ivy. Then there's Talia Al Ghul. She's gonna be needed for the story, so just watch out for her. And there's another one. I don't know whether Catgirl. Yeah, Catgirl. Alright, fair enough. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Izuku basically has to say everything like, I loved you ever since the day I met you. I also thought that it was love at first sight. But then Izuku just gets off the line and says that, I like the white dress that you had that one time. And not only that, you were real kind, and that actually kind of got me to not hate you. It also was fun having to fight you along all those times you tried to capture me. And it actually meant that I wouldn't have to be scared when you're defending yourself, because you actually rock at fighting. And this is when all you just hear is like, whoa, wait a minute, that's he's actually going off script here. There was like a big script, so that way he doesn't mess up. But Izuku's going off the charts on this and saying we're doing this live. Now, this is when freaking Ravage says, "Oh, that's I loved you, and it was love at first sight. You are a smart intellectual and possess a real what's the word? Kind charm to you. You actually saved that girl's balloon and was willing to get yourself hit by a lot of thorns. Not only that, I did like the fact that you were not just some idiot and just like a daddy's boy, saying you didn't need any of your father's power to protect you at that moment. You just thought about it along the way and were very cunning. So it kind of made me think to myself, I don't have to worry about protecting you as well, since you don't have to, well, fight people just with your strength, but also your mind. I think that's a very charming personality about you. And this is when it stops again, because the two fathers, they're like, oh, ah, well, I never told them to say that. That's purely their own skills right there. So after a while, these two actually start remembering the times they had and realize that they weren't bad times. It was just funnier for them. But these two have to kiss, so Ravage says that you have think about the mission, think about the mission, and Izuku is just thinking to himself, well, this is my life now. I'm a married man who hasn't even gone to a prom yet. So, goodbye, goodbye freedoms, goodbye happiness, goodbye say hello to depression for me along the way. And these two just start kissing. Now, it would be okay for some people, but this is when Izuku starts, he starts hearing like a gun sound, saying, "Alright, that's enough kissing my daughter. The plan did not need this much kissing." And this is when all you just see is All For One saying, "That's my son." And Izuku is just like, oh, good grief. Now these two, now it's a wedding and everything's going along fine. And this is when Izuku gets thirsty and he actually starts drinking something. And this is when this is when a girl gives him some water, and Izuku's like, oh, "Thank you." Oh boy, man, I'm really tired, but I should still stay up for at least the party. Now, there's like a little bit of dancing here and there. And there's also some people that are just like loyal to All For One, that at least dance so that way they can be like, they can enjoy themselves. And Izuku, he starts feeling sleepy, and this is when he almost faints. But somebody says, "Oh my, you're tired. Let me send you off to your room." And this is when Izuku, not spoiler, 18, it's 18 plus right here. Izuku is in the bed, and not only that, she is also, there's a woman there by the name of Talia, who is doing some, how do I say it? It can't be step bro here. It's more like she's waxing a carrot, and Izuku is stuffing the pipes with a pipe cleaner, and these two are not these two. Talia's going at it, and she's basically having the time of her life. And Izuku is just, well, not saying anything because he's sleeping. And this is when Rose is actually trying to find, like, Izuku. And she sees in one of the rooms that Talia is doing something to Izuku. And basically these two are, what's the word? Talia is wrestling with Izuku. And Izuku is just there unconscious. And this is when Rose just sees, Talia, what are you doing with Izuku? And this is when, basically, after like a couple of seconds, Talia just says, oh, I had to, I tripped. And she says, you lying bitch. And this is when these two are fighting now. Mind you, Talia's naked, and, well, Rose has a wedding dress, so the fight is kind of weird. And after a couple of minutes, Izuku's still knocked out. And Rose sees Izuku naked, and she's like covering her eyes, saying that this is not what she envisioned in this whole thing at all. But Talia gave her the slip and actually punches her to where she just she kind of like starts like, what's the word here? Talia punches her, and she's kind of like dazed for a second. So she just decides to run away and go to another room and get dressed. And after getting dressed, she just says that it wasn't so bad. And she wonders what would happen if Izuku was actually awake during their wrestling with their WWE, their Worldwide Entertainment Wrestling. And, well, this is when Rose basically covers up Izuku and says, Izuku, I'm gonna have to explain a lot to you. And when Izuku is awake, he finds that he's in his tuxedo, and Rose explains to Izuku what happened. Izuku's all like, "Did I? Yes. And am I a virgin? No. And Talia did this to me. Yes, Izuku. This wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know what came over. It was supposed to be just we're supposed to just, she was supposed to at least take something of value from you, or like take a comic book that costed thousands, or like she was supposed to just rob you. That was the deal." And he says, "Wait, what was the deal?" And she says, "Well, we were supposed. She was supposed to like get something of yours, so that way it could be payments for the weddings. And she didn't want to come. But I didn't know anyone else, and I didn't know. Oh boy, I didn't know anyone else that was willing to come. That was a villain. So I decided to go with her. But that was the wrong idea." And he says, "Oh, you got wrong, alright, several times." So wait, you're gonna rob your own husband? Really? Out of all the stuff we just said in our holy matrimony thing? And she says, "Yes, our vows, Izuku." And no, I didn't want her to do that, but, well, she did it, and she also did it, so, yeah. This is when Izuku just says, "Alright, fine." Now, after that, Izuku is, wandering the streets, just being Izuku, and freaking, what's his face? Shigaraki just walks with him and says, "So, I heard from the grapevine there was a woman there who, did stuff with you." And Izuku says, "Shiggy, not now." Oh, sheesh, my bad. Now, these two are talking for a while, and Izuku brings up the whole thing of, "Look, what she did was bad, but right now, I'm not even thinking about it." And this is when Izuku just sees somebody fighting, and Izuku is just like running towards the fight, and he sees that there is a person using explosions, and Izuku is just using like his teleportation to see what's going on, and Izuku tells Shigaraki, "Hey, stay back here for a while. I gotta see what's going on." And Izuku is looking to see that there's a hero, or at least a hero helper. And he basically wears a mask. He wears a mask to see what's going on with the fight. And he realizes that it's one of the Nomus. And he says, "Huh, did that actually get out? Did that actually get out of here at first? I'm not so sure." Now, he looks to see like, "Hey, you Nomu, run to base, but don't be fly. Don't fly. Just run as fast as you can. I'll take care of the hero." And this is when Izuku just says, turn into gloves." And this is when Bakugo, who's exploding stuff, says, "Oh, so you're the one who can control them." Mind you, the hero villain associate, the League of Villains, my bad, sent a Nomu out in the USJ. So this is like in half of the year. This is in half the year. Or does that make sense to you? After the whole USJ incident happened, they were wondering who made this Nomu, and Izuku, now present day, sees Bakugo, but he doesn't know who she is. He says that girl has a real temper tantrum, and Izuku just looks at her and says, "Sorry, but you're attacking my Nomu, and I can't just let you fight. I can't let you fight it because, one, it's my Nomu, so I have to be responsible. And not only that, if you don't want to, if you have to get to him, you gotta go through me. But I don't want to fight you, so why don't you just run along now, and we can forget this whole thing." This is when Bakugo just says, "Oh, really? Is that all?" And if that's the case, oh, sheesh, my bad. Now, if that's the case, should I also bend you over and wipe your ass? Because you think that I'm just gonna listen to a child? And Yuzuki says, "We look to be the same age, actually. There's no way to handle me with kid gloves." She says, "It's called sarcasm, genius." And she basically tries to use an explosion on him, but Izuku just starts jumping out of the way and says, "Come on now. You really think that you're gonna fight me and win?" And she says, "Oh, is that a challenge? So why don't we just fight to the death, huh?" And Izuku says, Whoa. There is no need to fight to the death. Come on, I wouldn't want to fight somebody who looks like... looks as pitiful as you. Looks like you're easy to understand. And Izuku just says, if you want to fight me, we could fight, but don't think that you're just gonna beat me easily. And this is when Izuku sees that, well, she just starts charging towards him and says, so you're the brawler type. And Izuku just moves out of the way while she explodes a car. She uses one of her explosions on a car, and Izuku just pushes her down to the ground and says, hey, why don't I start over? I am a villain who has fought many heroes before. I didn't want to fight them, but they leave me no choice due to the fact that I always had to bail out a freaking Nomu. Sorry about that. I always have to bail on a Nomu, and yeah, I have to be honest with you. It's not always fun. So I have my fair share with Nomus, and judging you, you don't know how to fight a villain that has my powers. And this is when she basically says, really? So what if I just do this? And explodes the ground, causing Izuku to actually basically get pushed away and fall to the ground. Getting back up, what Bakugo does is just shoots out her 2 explosions. And this is when Izuku gets upset and sees Bakugo, and all he does is just swap places the split second that Bakugo releases those explosions, causing her to get in front of the explosions and get hit with the maximum force that she just gave out. Because she basically just took out the pins on both and just unleashes it. And this is when Izuku says, what an idiot. And this is when she still stands up. And Izuku says, well, there was a time where I wanted to be a hero, but there's nothing that's given me a reason to. I just want to live my life and, well, protect those that are precious to me. That's all. I can give a damn about the innocent needing to be saved all the time. There's a person that told me that, but she's no longer around to help me with, this kind of thing. But we did have a good fight, did we not? And this is when he just turns his gloves into a pipe. Or not a pipe, but a stick. And this is when Izuku just starts wailing on her while she basically gets hit by so many, by a barrage of hits and cuts. And this is when Bakugo is standing up, but she's like now looking like a ragdoll dancing. While Izuku is done with that, and Izuku just jumps up and then kicks her so hard on the head, she basically just passes out. And Izuku unmasks her. And he, for some unknown reason, and this is a pet peeve of mine, this is for give me at least a good 10 seconds, it gets me upset how people don't see what others look like behind the mask, like their bottom part or the upper part of their face doesn't look familiar at all. That just gets me like, no, I can't recognize who you are because of how your face looks. Like I'm supposed to be that dumb. But then again, I could be wrong. I could be forced to one day fight my best friend who only has like a mask that is only covering their eyes. But then again, like I said, the possibility of that happening. Now, Izuku just uncovers the mask to see, and was about to say, "So what do you look like under there? You must be a real cutie, huh?" And Izuku looks at her and he just says, "Wait a minute. That face looks so familiar now." Uh, it can't be. You're, you're, you're a guy. You're supposed to be a guy. It could be that you just reminded me of somebody. And this is when Izuku just says nothing, but looks at her and says, huh, "For a second there, you almost had me worried." And this is when all you see is a guy with red hair, aka Kirishima, running towards Bakugo, saying, "Bakugo, are you okay? Get away from her!" And Izuku just basically shuddered in fear, in terror, what he just did. And he looks back and just hears the words Bakugo. Realizes what he just did to his first ever childhood friend. And Izuku just thinks about it and realizes that this whole time, this is the person that helped him out and protected him. And sure, she used to bully him, but they were friends. And Izuku thought that he would never actually do anything to her, or him, or both at the time that he was thinking about it. He never thought that these two would ever meet each other. So he left with this sense of what's the word? He left with the sense of wonder in his eyes, thinking he doesn't have to worry about upsetting Bakugo because Bakugo will never be back in the town. This is when he remembers everything from the promise to when he left. When these two promised a long time ago that these two would come back and be heroes. And Izuku just starts crying a little bit, and he just starts walking away. And Kirishima says, I'm not gonna let you just run away after you hurt her." And this is when he tried to land a punch, but Izuku just punches him with sheer force, causing his arm to just break, causing him to injure his arm. And this is when Bakugo just like fell to the ground, and he was like, "What was that? Was that a quirk?" No, wait a minute. That's not a quirk. That was just, he just broke his arm. And Izuku just says, "Right now I'm pissed. I don't think I want to have this conversation with you. Just get her to a hospital, please." And this is when Izuku just starts running away. Shigaraki seeing the whole thing and says, "Hey, Izuku, are you okay?" And Izuku says, "I don't want to talk." And this is when Shigaraki says, "All right, we'll have to go to the warehouse and get you patched up." And Izuku just goes into his room, and the whole Izuku being like a villain kind of gets into his head now, and he basically sits down and just contemplates what he did. And he gets his arm like healed up in a matter of like seconds after injecting some kind of vial. And Izuku just goes into his room afterwards and cries, saying that he just did something horrible to his friend, and that he feels like a monster after showing no like remorse at all, after she was already burnt and basically having a lot of burn marks on her, just wailing on her, and he realizes that he felt like he was smiling that second, and he didn't know what to say. This is when Izuku just thinks to himself, is being a villain worth it at all? Whatever I just did, I don't think I want to go through that again. And this is when Izuku thinks to himself, should he be good? Or should he just stay the way he is? He's gotten power, but he doesn't know whether that power came at a great cost. Now he's just disgusted, and all he just sees is what he did to her, and sees the state that he left her in. And not only that, he only fought bad guys, but he never went this hard on a hero before. On somebody who was technically innocent, who helps people out. And this is when he thinks about it. When he realizes that his mother was a hero. Could he have done this to her had she been alive? If she had not noticed at all Izuku being a villain and only saw his mom, could he have seen that face of her mom? What I'm basically trying to say is that, could he have done this to his mom had he never known about it? And Izuku shudders at that. And he just goes to sleep saying, I have to think about it in the morning. So there you have it. This is part 2 to what if Deku was, what if he fell in love with Ravage or Ravage part 2. And if you guys did like it, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout with Fear. Bye.